him to pass the letter.
I can't ask him to do that, so.
But you can ask us.
High-cost loans have got to go. Hey, hey.
Not the fact.
High-cost loans have got to go. Hey, hey.
Are you going to go?
We'll go with Susie.
High-cost loans have got to go. Hey, hey.
Okay.
High-cost loans have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. High-cost loans have got to go. Hey, we'll be back.
Come on.
Okay, when we first were victims, weren't we kind of like, oh man, how did I get into this? I'm not going to say nothing to nobody.
That's right.
But then didn't you get pissed? And then didn't you get mad?
Yeah.
Then you get downright mad.
Yeah.
So you came on action.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when I got mad. I got mad when I went to Washington and I told my story. And then the president of household wrote a letter and said, this man's a liar.
Ooh.
And that's when I really got pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I was a little mad, but then I really got pissed.
A lot mad.
And so what I said was, let's write a letter back. And we did. And we said what crooks these people were. So now we got a new one. We said, last time I was in Chicago, we had a convention. And I stood up and I said, household, look behind you, because ACORN's coming to get you.
All right.
It's just a different name. But Wells Fargo, look behind you.
We're coming at you.
And we're coming. Yeah. We're coming.
I had my first house, my mortgage with what was Norwest at the time, which is now Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo fired me from my job. You know, and I was on the threshold of losing my house, and I had a young lady come and give me a flyer and talk about ACORN. And then about a week later, 2 guys came knocking on my door and said, yeah, we're from ACORN. Would you care to talk about it? Yes, please come in. And the rest is history. And I love doing things like this because, I mean, I was a 19-year-old single mom who was living on welfare till I finally got a class in key punching. And I was supporting my daughter and I in poverty. And I had landlords that ripped me off. I had mortgage companies rip me off. And I was vulnerable, and I didn't know I had a voice. And I even wanted to buy a house so my daughter could have a stable environment and nobody would give me a mortgage. And it wasn't until 19 years later that ACORN opened up doors for people to buy houses.
From Minneapolis, and I've been an ACORN member for 2 years. And I love to tell this story because I am so pleased to be proud of, be a part of ACORN's family. Because I was facing foreclosure and an ACORN member knocked on my door recruiting ACORN members. And I practically, you know, chopped the little boy's head off when I told him, if you can't help me out of this foreclosure situation, then there's nothing you can do for me. And I almost slammed the door in his face when he says, ACORN can help you with that. And my life changed from that moment on.
Hi, my name is Darcy Mackey. And I had a loan from Wells Fargo, which came to me with 3 different loan companies. Like there was Delta Funding, there was ACORN, and Wells Fargo. I never really knew who my mortgages were because I had 3 different companies coming to me, like ACORN, ACORN and Delta Funding, and now it's Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo foreclosed on my home and took my home from me. I had my home for 30 years. I had to work 2 jobs, 3 years straight. My husband was dead when I first bought my home. My husband died 29 years ago, and I was 26. And I worked hard for my home. I made all kinds of repairs. And I kept them fixed up. And I was a victim of predatory lending. And they finally, last month, foreclosed on our home and took it from me.
Take your time.
They said that they were paying my taxes outside the loan, because I had to pay my taxes, my utility bill, and they were put into the mortgage like for 12 months. They would pay so much for my taxes, which I would get letters and newspapers stating that they were taking my home for taxes. I would run and pay the taxes and had to pay the mortgage company also. My mortgage rent went from $500 a month to $8.99 a month, from $8.99 a month to $1,200 a month. I'm on a fixed income. I'm not working now. And like I said, Wells Fargo took my home. No. I believe that whatever I'm saying may help somebody else. But right now, they took my home. And they haven't given me a specific time to get out of my home. They just said they wanted my home immediate. So we went to court today to see if we can get at least 60 days to get out. And have to go to court Monday. So I hope what I'm saying helps somebody else. They just took my home from me.
Good afternoon.
My name is Sheila Tracy, and recently my husband and I just received a Wells Fargo financial loan. We were looking to refinance, and we had heard so many terrible, horrible stories about refinancing, just like the one we just heard. And Wells Fargo was our mortgage company, so I thought I could trust them. So I went to them and explained that we had a debt that we wanted to consolidate, and we wanted to pay off this debt so that I can afford to save for my son's college education. He's 9 years old, and it's growing up every day, so we thought this would be a good time to refinance. And I think Wells Fargo, what they did, they took advantage of the fact that we just didn't understand the process. We heard all of this wonderful talk about all of these low mortgage, low interest rates, and we thought that we would be better off if we would refinance now, and took advantage of this. But instead, Wells Fargo took advantage of us. And we went from a mortgage payment of $950, and now we're paying $1,580. And I wasn't even aware until I talked to ACORN about all of the fees that they charged us, all of the points, and I didn't even understand the process. They explained to me that in 10 years we could own our home, and if we pay this now, that we'd be better off as far as our mortgage and all of our credit card payments, and we're not better off. We're struggling now just to make this payment every month. And I believe in making payments and paying my bills on time, and now that's in jeopardy because I can't make this payment. My husband and I are struggling right now to keep this up, and I just think that it's unfair, and I really wouldn't want to see. Now I'm just trying to hold on to my home. I'm afraid that I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to have to do to keep and hold on to our home, something that we had to work very hard to get. And so I just want to tell everyone that I'm here because I want this type of practice to stop. I want Wells Fargo to know that they're taking advantage of people, and it's unfair. Hard-working people who have worked very hard to get what they have, and they want to keep it. And that's all I have to say.
Well, Steve Mange and Tommy James from the Attorney General's office, Lisa Madigan's office are here. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
We're thankful you're collecting the files of the victims we've heard from today, and also the files of those who could not be here. Thank you. And here are the files.
Thank you.
Over to you. Could you just say a few words to the audience?
Hello, how are you today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm Steve Mange. I'm Attorney General Madigan's Senior Policy Advisor. And first, I wanted to thank all of you for inviting us here today. The Attorney General is down in Carbondale today, and so she could not come. But we very much appreciate the invitation. We appreciate all of the hard work that you have done on the issue of predatory lending, and we'll certainly investigate these cases very seriously. Also with me here today is Tom James, who he specializes in this area of the law. And Tom, I don't know if you want to say a word or two.
I just wanted to mention one thing, really, which was to extend a very, very heartfelt thank you to ACORN's activism. A couple of days ago, I was privileged enough to be given by Attorney General Lisa Madigan the pen that the governor used to sign the predatory lending legislation that we all worked so hard to get in place. He signed that on Tuesday, and that's going to give us a lot more enforcement power come the 1st of January. We'll have, for the first time, the ability to bring cases directly under our power as the Attorney General, under the Consumer Fraud Act, cases aimed squarely at predatory lending. We couldn't have done it without the intense advocacy of ACORN and many other community groups that collectively put the pressure on. So, thanks much.
Ohio here in the house? Not yet. What about Toledo? They on their way too, okay. I know we have some Kansas City people on the way.